The morning sun rose over the human colony on Proxima Centauri, casting two shadows across the peaceful settlement. Dr. Han Suji watched from her laboratory window as children played in the safe zone between the human buildings and the tall purple trees that marked the edge of the Rakshi territory. Her daughter, Kim Na-young, ran among the other children. Her black hair bounced in the artificial gravity as she chased both human and Rakshi children in their game of tag. The Rakshi children moved on their four legs, their blue skin shining in the sunlight. Na-young's laughter mixed with the clicking sounds the Rakshi children made when they were happy. Sujay smiled, remembering how different things had been 5 years ago when humans first arrived on this planet. The Rakshi, with their advanced technology and strange customs, had been unsure about letting humans build a colony. But Suji's work as a scientist who studied alien life had helped create peace between the two species. "Dr. Han," a voice called from behind her. Suji turned to see her assistant holding a datapad. "The Rakshi Council wants to meet with you. They say it's important." Suji nodded and took one last look at her daughter playing outside. Na-young was now showing the Rakshi children how to play hopscotch, drawing lines in the red dirt with a stick. The walk to the Rakshi meeting hall took 20 minutes. Suji noticed more Rakshi religious symbols had been put up along the road. The symbols were everywhere now, on walls, doors, and even on the ground. Something felt different about the Rakshi lately. They seemed more serious, more focused on their ancient beliefs. Inside the meeting hall, 3 Rakshi leaders sat on their traditional floating platforms. Their elder, Kotek, spoke first. His translator device turned his clicks and whistles into clear human words. "Dr. Han, we must discuss the children," Kotek said. "Some of our people worry about them playing together. They think it goes against our sacred laws." Suji kept her voice calm, though she felt worried. "The children's friendship shows how well our peoples can live together. Their games have helped both species understand each other better." Another leader, Ravek, moved his platform forward. "Not everyone shares your view, Dr. Han. The Pure Path group grows stronger every day. They believe human children make our own children." He paused, looking uncomfortable, unclean. Sujai had heard about the Pure Path. They were Rakshi who wanted to follow only their oldest religious rules. They thought mixing with humans was wrong. "What do you suggest we do?" Suji asked, trying to hide her concern. "For now, we watch and wait," Kotek answered. "But please, tell your people to be careful. Keep the children close to your buildings." As Suji walked back to the human colony, she saw Na-young still playing. Her daughter was teaching a small Rakshi child how to draw pictures in the dirt. Both of them looked so happy, so innocent. Suji took out her communicator and called the colony's security office. "This is Dr. Han. We need to talk about increasing safety measures for the children. Something's changing with the Rakshi. I don't like it." She watched her daughter laugh again, unaware of the dark clouds gathering over their peaceful world. Suji promised herself she would do anything to keep Na-young safe. Anything. The annual Peace Festival was supposed to bring humans and Rakshi closer together. Bright lights hung between buildings, and music from both cultures filled the air. Suji watched as Na-young danced with her friends in the town square, her small feet moving to the strange beats of Rakshi drums. "Be careful, stay where I can see you," Sujai called out. Na-young waved back, her smile bright under the colony's artificial lights. Security officers stood at every corner, following Suji's request for extra protection. But even they couldn't watch everything at once. The festival grew busier as night fell. More Rakshi arrived, many wearing their religious symbols. Suji noticed some of them watching the human children with strange looks. She started walking toward Na-young, but a group of dancing Rakshi moved between them. When Sujai reached the spot where Na-young had been dancing, her daughter was gone. "Na-young," Sujai called out. No answer. "Na-young." The music stopped. Colony security responded immediately, spreading out through the crowd. Sujai ran from street to street, calling her daughter's name. Other colonists joined the search. Even many Rakshi helped, using their advanced sensors to scan the area. Dr. Han, a security officer, ran up to her. We found this near the edge of the colony. He held up Na-young's favorite hair clip, the one with small stars on it. Suji grabbed her communicator. This is Dr. Han. My daughter is missing. Lock down the colony. No one leaves. But it was too late. The Rakshi Council called an emergency meeting 2 hours later. They had found security footage showing 4 members of the Pure Path group taking Na-young through a hidden tunnel. We are tracking them, Kotek said, his voice full of shame. We have sent our fastest ships. Suji couldn't stop shaking. Please, she begged. She's just a child. She's innocent. The colony's main screen lit up with an incoming transmission. Everyone turned to watch. The Pure Path leader appeared, standing in front of an ancient Rakshi temple. The human child makes our sacred ground unclean, he announced. We will perform the great cleansing, as our oldest laws demand. The screen showed Na-young, held by 2 Rakshi. She looked so small, so scared. Mama, she called out. No, Suji screamed. Please, no. The transmission cut off. 10 minutes later, it came back on. The Pure Path leader spoke again. The cleansing is complete. Let this be a message to all humans. Your children do not belong here. Suji fell to her knees. Around her, humans and Rakshi stood in shocked silence. The Rakshi Council tried to speak, to offer comfort, but Suji couldn't hear them. Her world had ended. That night, as the news traveled to Earth, Suji sat in Na-young's room. She held her daughter's favorite stuffed animal, a small blue elephant. On the wall, Na-young's drawing showed happy humans and Rakshi playing together. Suji's communicator beeped. It was Earth Command. They wanted details about what happened. They wanted to know everything about the Rakshi. Earth was coming, and it was coming with anger. On Earth, in the United Command Center in Seoul, Admiral Park Do-won watched the video of Na-young's death for the 10th time. His face showed no emotion, but his hands gripped his chair's armrests tightly. The room was silent except for the soft hum of computers. Play it again, he ordered. His staff looked worried, but they followed his command. He needed to remember every detail, every face of the Rakshi who did this. Earth would not forget. Earth would not forgive. The emergency meeting of Earth's Defense Council began at midnight. Leaders from all nations gathered through holographic projections. They all had seen the video. They all wanted action. Admiral Park stood before them, his uniform perfectly pressed. The Rakshi think we are weak, he said. They think we are simple creatures who only know peace. They are wrong. Images appeared on the giant screen behind him. Secret military bases hidden under Earth's oceans, warships that no one knew existed, weapons that humanity had developed but never used. For 200 years, we chose peace, Park continued. We explored the stars with open hands, not closed fists. But we were not foolish. We were prepared. The council members nodded. Humanity had learned from its long history of war. Peace was better, but peace required strength. A message arrived from the Rakshi Council. They called the killing a regrettable incident, but refused to hand over the killers. They said it was an internal religious matter. Admiral Park sent Earth's response. Give us the murderers, or we will take them. The Rakshi's reply came quickly. They laughed. Their message showed their mighty warships, their advanced weapons. They thought their technology was far better than Earth's. In the colony, Suji received a private message from Admiral Park. He wanted her help. The Rakshi must learn, he wrote, but we don't want to harm innocent people. Will you help us plan? Suji looked at Na-young's empty room one last time. She packed her daughter's blue elephant and her favorite books. Then she sent her answer. Yes, they must learn. Earth's hidden fleet launched at dawn. 1,000 ships, black as space itself, moved silently toward Proxima Centauri. Admiral Park stood on his bridge, watching the stars blur past. "Sir," his communication officer called. "The Rakshi are broadcasting to their people. They say we are primitive. They say we can't hurt them." Park looked at the photo on his desk. It showed Nayoung at last year's science fair, smiling proudly next to her project about Rakshi plants. Next to it sat her small hair clip with the stars, sent to Earth as evidence. "Let them think that," Park said quietly. "They will learn what happens when you kill a human child. They will learn why Earth chose peace instead of war, not because we had to, but because we wanted to." The fleet moved faster, carrying humanity's response to those who thought kindness meant weakness. The Rakshi would soon understand their terrible mistake. Commander Lee Ji-hoo stood in the war room of Earth's flagship, the EFS Righteous. Around her, screens showed the positions of every ship in the fleet. Each vessel carried a name written in white letters. For Nayoung. "The Rakshi defense system has 3 layers," Ji-hoo explained to Admiral Park. She pointed to the holographic display showing the alien world. "Their outer shield uses technology they think we cannot break. Their inner defenses protect their cities. Their weapons target anything that comes close." Admiral Park studied the display. "And our solution?" Ji-hoo pressed a button, and new images appeared. Operation Child's Dawn. "We have studied the Rakshi for years. We know their weaknesses. Their pride made them careless." Sujai entered the room, carrying her datapad. The officers stood straighter, showing respect for the mother who lost everything. She had spent 5 years studying Rakshi technology. Now that knowledge would serve a different purpose. "Their shields have a flaw," Suji said softly. "They never fixed it because they thought no one could see it. I found it 3 years ago while studying their power systems." She paused, looking at Nayoung's hair clip, which now hung from the main display. "I reported it to Earth Command, just in case." Commander Lee nodded. "We built our weapons to exploit this flaw. The Rakshi believe their technology is perfect. They never look for mistakes." The fleet's weapons were unlike anything seen before. They looked simple on the outside, but inside they held humanity's most advanced science. Each one was designed to bypass Rakshi defenses as if they weren't there. "We also have this," Ji-hoo said, showing the final part of the plan. "The atmospheric adjuster. One shot can change the air on a planet. We will not use it, but they need to know we can." Admiral Park walked to the window, watching his fleet move through space. How many innocent Rakshi live in the target areas? Sujai stepped forward. "I have mapped safe zones, places where those who oppose the killing can go. The Pure Path temples are away from civilian areas. We can strike precisely." The Admiral turned to his crew. "Humanity chose peace because we learned from our wars. We explored space with hope, not fear, but we never forgot how to fight." He touched the window, his reflection showing tired eyes. "Send the evacuation order to our colonists. Tell the friendly Rakshi where to find safety. Then begin Operation Child's Dawn." Commander Lee sent the orders. Across the fleet, weapons powered up. Each captain received their targets. The time for talking had ended. "Sir," a young officer called out. "The Rakshi are sending a message. They say we are making a mistake. They say we don't understand what real power is." Admiral Park looked at Suji, who held her daughter's blue elephant tightly. "No," he said quietly. "They are the ones who don't understand. Show them what humanity has hidden. Show them why Earth's peace was always a choice." Earth's fleet appeared above the Rakshi world like black stars against the night sky. Admiral Park stood on his bridge, watching as the Rakshi ships moved to meet them. The alien vessels glowed with powerful shields, their weapons ready to fire. "They are sending a message," reported the communications officer. "They say our ships are too few. They say we should leave while we can." Admiral Park looked at the timer counting down on his screen. "Send no reply. Begin Operation Child's Dawn on my mark." The Rakshi fired first. Their energy weapons lit up space with brilliant colors. Their leaders watched confidently, expecting the human ships to break apart. Instead, the beams passed through Earth's fleet as if it wasn't there. Holographic projections in place, Commander Lee reported. The real fleet is already past their outer defenses. The Rakshi's confidence turned to confusion. They fired again and again at the false images, while Earth's true ships moved silently into position. Their mighty shields detected nothing. "All ships report ready," Commander Lee said. "Waiting for your orders, sir." Admiral Park pressed the button that would start the attack. On every human ship, screens lit up with Na-Young's school picture. Her smile reminded them why they fought. "Begin," Park ordered. Earth's weapons activated. They made no sound in space, but their effect was immediate. The Rakshi's powerful shields flickered and died. Their mighty weapons went dark. Their advanced sensors showed only static. "How?" The Rakshi leader's voice came through, filled with fear. "This is impossible. Your technology is beneath ours." Captain Yum Min-seo's voice answered from her ship, which led the evacuation fleet. "You saw what we wanted you to see. You believed what your pride told you to believe." The human ships moved with perfect precision. Each shot disabled a Rakshi defense system. Each target fell without causing civilian deaths. Earth's fleet had trained for years for this moment. On the planet below, the Pure Path temples lost power. Their defenses failed. Their secret bunkers opened to empty air. The proud leaders who had ordered Na-Young's death found themselves helpless. "Send the second message," Admiral Park commanded. All across the Rakshi world, screens came to life. They showed the atmospheric adjuster aimed at their planet. They showed Earth's full military power. They showed how many ships remained hidden, waiting. "You killed one human child." Admiral Park's voice echoed across every Rakshi communication system. "You thought there would be no consequences. You thought we were weak. Now you understand. Earth's peace was never weakness. It was mercy." Suji watched from her station as the Rakshi leadership realized their terrible mistake. In her hand, she held Na-Young's blue elephant. Soon, justice would come. Soon, her daughter's killers would face what they deserved. The atmospheric adjuster hung in orbit above the Rakshi homeworld like a silver needle pointing at the planet's heart. Admiral Park ordered a demonstration of its power on an uninhabited moon. The weapon fired a thin beam of light that seemed too small to matter. Within minutes, the moon's atmosphere changed color from orange to deep purple. The Rakshi scientists watched their instruments in horror as they realized what Earth could do to their world with a single command. "We could make your air unbreathable," Admiral Park's voice carried across all channels. "We could change your atmosphere to acid. We could end your civilization without firing a single shot." He paused, letting the truth sink in. "But we are not like you. We do not harm the innocent." Suji worked in the fleet's command center, directing rescue ships to save Rakshi civilians. She had marked safe zones across the planet where those who opposed Na-Young's murder could find protection. Many Rakshi families fled the Pure Path temples, carrying their children to safety. "The evacuation is working," Suja reported to Commander Lee. "The innocent are being protected." She touched the small star-shaped hair clip she now wore on her uniform. Na-Young would have wanted that. Earth's ships surrounded the Pure Path temples with precise formation. Their weapons disabled the temple's defenses one by one. Inside, the religious leaders who had ordered Na-Young's death tried to hide, but Earth's sensors found them easily. "Surrender now," Commander Lee broadcast to the temples. "Face justice for your crimes." The Pure Path leaders responded with desperate threats. They claimed their gods would protect them. They said humans were too weak to enforce justice. Their words stopped when Admiral Park ordered another demonstration. The atmospheric adjuster fired again, this time at a small cloud above the largest temple. The cloud turned from white to black, then dissolved into rain. Each drop contained a tracking chemical that marked everyone it touched. No one could hide anymore. "You thought we were primitive," Admiral Park said to the marked Pure Path leaders. You thought we lacked true power. Now you understand. We had this power all along. We chose not to use it. We chose peace, but you killed a child. You forced our hand. Suji watched as Earth's ground forces moved in to arrest the murderers. She remembered Ne Young's last drawing, still hanging in their home on the colony. It showed human and Rakshi children playing together under a peaceful sky. Perhaps after justice was done, that dream could live again. The Rakshi Council sent an urgent message. They begged for mercy, offering to surrender the Pure Path leaders. They finally understood that Earth's technology had surpassed theirs long ago. Humanity had simply chosen to keep its power hidden, preferring friendship to fear. The trial took place in a grand hall built halfway between human and Rakshi territory. Judges from both species sat together, their faces serious as they listened to the evidence. Sujai stood before them, her voice steady as she testified about her daughter's last moments. The Pure Path leaders sat in a row, their blue skin marked by the tracking rain that had revealed their hiding places. They looked smaller now, their pride gone. Earth's ships still waited in orbit, a constant reminder of humanity's hidden strength. We did not know, one of the leaders said when asked to speak. We did not understand that Earth's kindness was a choice, not a weakness. We thought humans were simple creatures who only knew peace. Admiral Park testified next, explaining why Earth had kept its true power hidden. We wanted to meet other species as friends, not as conquerors. We hoped to share knowledge, not inspire fear. But we never forgot our responsibility to protect our people, especially our children. The evidence was clear. Security recordings showed every detail of Ne Young's final hours. The Pure Path leaders had planned the killing for months, thinking they would face no consequences. They had been wrong. Commander Lee presented proof of other planned attacks on human children. The Pure Path had intended to kill more, thinking Earth would simply accept it. The judges' faces grew darker with each new piece of evidence. The Rakshi Council members spoke last. They admitted their mistake in allowing religious extremism to grow unchecked. They offered to create new laws protecting all children, human and Rakshi alike. They asked for a chance to rebuild trust. When the verdict came, it was unanimous. The Pure Path leaders would face justice for their crimes. But Earth's response had also shown mercy by protecting innocent civilians and avoiding unnecessary destruction. Sujai stood in Ne Young's former classroom that evening. The room had been converted into a meeting place where human and Rakshi children could learn about each other's cultures. On the wall hung a new law, written in both languages. All children are sacred. All children are protected. Admiral Park visited the classroom, looking at the children's drawings on the walls. The Rakshi Council has agreed to our terms, he told Suji. No more. 10 years had passed since the day that changed relations between humans and aliens forever. The colony on Proxima Centauri, they had grown into a thriving city where humans and Rakshi lived together in true peace. Above the city's main square stood a memorial garden, where a statue of a small girl played eternally in a field of earth flowers and Rakshi plants. Suji walked through the garden, now older but still carrying her daughter's memory with pride. The Ne Young Foundation building rose nearby, its walls covered with artwork from both human and Rakshi children. Inside, teachers from both species taught young ones about respect, understanding, and the true meaning of strength. Dr. Han, a young Rakshi student, called out, running up to her on all 4 legs. Thank you for today's lesson. I never knew humans hid their power because they wanted to be friends first. Suji smiled, touching the star-shaped hair clip that had become the Foundation's symbol. That's why we teach this history, she said. So everyone remembers the importance of choosing peace and the consequences of breaking it. Admiral Park, now retired but still respected throughout the galaxy, arrived for his annual visit. He walked with Suji through the Foundation's halls, looking at pictures of Ne Young and the changes her death had inspired. Every new species we meet now signs the Child Protection Treaty, he told her. They all know the story. They all understand that humanity's kindness is a choice. He paused at a window overlooking the city. No one has harmed a human child since that day. The Rakshi had changed too. Their society had grown more open, less focused on religious extremism. The Pure Path temples had become centers of learning where both species studied together. The trekking rain that had once marked criminals now fell as a natural part of the planet's weather, a constant reminder of the past. In orbit, Earth's ships still patrolled, but now they protected everyone equally. Their weapons remained hidden, used only when absolutely necessary. The atmospheric adjuster had been sealed away, a last resort that everyone hoped would never be needed again. Suji finished her day in what had once been Mayung's room, now a special place in the Foundation where troubled children could find peace. She sat in the reading corner, holding the worn blue elephant that had been her daughter's favorite toy. "Your death changed everything, little one," she whispered. "Because of you, the galaxy learned that true strength lies in choosing peace while being ready to protect it. Because of you, all children are safer." As night fell, the stars shone down on a changed world. In schools across the galaxy, young ones of all species learned the story of one small human child whose death had taught the universe a powerful lesson. Earth's peace was precious precisely because it was a choice, and those who broke that peace would face the consequences of their actions.